What's up? My name is Shan Boodram, and this is my sex playlist. Number 10, Beyoncé, Rocket. To me, what makes this song so sexy is the fact that it's not like in your face, right? It's not nasty. It's not like squirt on me. It's not put your pussy on my sideburns. That's a real line. It's like about the mountains and the climbing and the building up and the waterfalls, the rockets, because we know what it is. I think this is actually really indicative of how a lot of women like their sex to be packaged. We don't necessarily need like explicit in your face, like give me that rock hard cock. We'd rather it just be just a little cuter, more innuendos, more chic, more classy. It's essential that the first song that you play on your sex playlist is a longer song because that just lets the person know we're not done yet. You know, if it was a quick song, like, oh, we've already 2 songs in, like we might as well move on, like past foreplay. No. Song number 1 is only 1/4 of what foreplay should be. So strap in, it's gonna be a long night. We have 9 more songs to go, and we're starting this one out nice and slow and intentional. Number 9, White Stripes, Ball and Biscuit.
Let's have a ball and a biscuit, sugar.
So if you've ever been to a strip club before, you know that white people strip to rock music and everybody else strips to trap.
It's a trap.
But I think that there's something about that because it is the like guitar and the bass and the grit of rock that's just dirty in the right way that you want during sex. It's kind of unsightly, but at the same time, you're like, ooh, like she's kind of a freak. This song to me is like a tear in someone's nylon. Like, oh, we're about to do some nasty stuff. The guitar solo alone should tell you that this is a sex song. There's just something about it that just calls you to have your best orgasm ever. Now, mind you, I don't want an orgasm this like early on in the night because I'm a one and done type person, but nonetheless, like it is indicative of what an orgasm should be. It's like raw, it's gritty, it's passionate, it's angry, it's sensual, it's sexy. You feel like he made this up on the spot.
Is there a bedroom in the booth?
We know he didn't, but it feels like that. It feels like coming for the first time. Number 8, Miguel, Pussy Is Mine.
Tell me, baby.
My now husband, he actually suggested it for this playlist, which was like, remember that one song that I sang to you and it was super hot? And he was correct. It was super hot. There's some dominance, some power play in this song. It's sensual, but it's also aggressive at the same time. It's like how I like my man. And if you know my husband, you'd probably be like, oh, that makes perfect sense. There could be some controversy when it comes to this song because there is heavy implications of power play going on here. Heavy implications of dominance that are happening. But at the end of the day, sex and power play go together. But what also goes with sex is consent. So it is really important to establish with your partner, like who's a dominant, who's a submissive, what kind of language feels good for you. I actually have this word cloud, which is a list of words made up by Afrosexology that says, how do you want to feel during sex? And so if you're the kind of person like me who wants to feel slutty, who wants to feel dominated some of the times, then this is going to be your jam. Number 7 is Jeremih, F you all the time. It's just nasty. And then also when you've had such a great sexual experience with somebody that the next day, no matter what they're doing, they would rather be with you doing what you guys did last night or maybe yesterday at 12 p.m. That's just really sexy. It's just sexy to know that you're always on someone's mind in that way. And then even when you get married and you have a kid with somebody and you see that person 24/7, you still want to feel bits of that magic. Like no matter what we're doing this moment, I just wish I could rip off your clothes and savor your body and honor you. Like sex is supposed to be this super freeing, connective place where 2 people forget about everything else and just exist. And to know that your partner just wants to exist naked and sweaty and throbbing with you at any given moment, that's a feeling that people don't ever want to lose. Number 6, TLC, Let's Do It Again. Chili is the queen of the bridge. Fight me on that. Like the greatest bridges of all time. The way that the bridges build up, especially that, don't you, please don't stop it, don't you, please don't stop it. Anybody with a clitoris knows what the f is going on in that moment. You know that when that person has hit and found that spot and you're like, that's exactly it, and you're building up, it's just like, please, like I am begging you, I will give you my savings account, like I will give you anything, my SEP IRA, just don't stop what you're doing right now. And I feel like she just like completely encompasses that in this song. You give me pleasure, unlike any pleasure that I've ever. I don't actually know the lyrics are. That's why it's number 6 on my list. Number 5, Party Next Door, What's Good / Curious. So the line in the song, she just changed her Twitter to "Party makes me wetter." I relate to, because I actually was in school to become a sexologist. So I'd been learning all this new stuff, but myself and my partner were just never on the same page. The sex just wasn't a highlight. And I think both of us kind of realized that. And so when I came out of that relationship, I ended up meeting this person. We had like storybook kind of sexual relationship, like back of the car in New Orleans at Jazz Fest, like never anywhere traditional or normal. And I remember this one time he gave me oral that was so good that I punched him in the head afterwards and then cried. And then I remember I made like a big like story out of it on my social media and I posted it. And then that's how my ex knew that I had moved on with somebody else. I didn't change my Twitter, but more or less it changed my life. Number 4, the internet, hold on. Hold on, don't stop. Stop. This is actually the kind of song that I really want to hear during sex. Sometimes things that are too busy with too many lyrics will like get me out of the moment and start having me in my head. I don't want to be thinking about the song or singing along. I just want it to be playing in the background and almost like a bass. Something that's underneath everything else and just pushing up, giving a little bit of extra pressure. I don't want something that's like in the room with us. It takes me a longer time to orgasm. And so sometimes when music, one is too short, that's a no-no for me because I start to time how long it's taking me to come based on how many songs I've played. So like 3-minute songs are not my jam because I'm like, oh my God, like 10 songs have passed. This person must be like having a coma down there. It feels like an hour has passed, but really it's just like 10 2-minute songs. So I like 6-minute plus songs that are just in the background, just kind of pumping along with you, just chugging along. Like that's my shit. Number 3, Vybz Kartel, Slow Motion. This should be on everybody's list. It's funny enough because when I was making this playlist, my husband and his best friend were over, and then somebody suggested Slow Motion by Juvenile. And I was like, first of all, that's fucking ridiculous. I'm having Juvenile on my sex playlist. Secondly, I already have a Slow Motion on there, and it's by Vybz Kartel, and it's a superior version. It's this. And then it's like the hip. There are a few songs that make you a better lover. They're like the rhythm of the song, like it makes you a better lover. Like this is one of them. Like that just makes you catch the bounce in a way that you probably couldn't have by yourself. It's the hand on your hips actually positioning it for you while you're riding somebody. That's what this song is. And that's why I love it. Number 2, Frank Ocean, Pink and White. To me, this actually is the ultimate foreplay song. When this album first came out, I just started having sex with my husband, like maybe like 6 months in. So we were at the place now where like foreplay was a bigger part of the experience because we were not in a rush. This album came out and we just both gave each other like deep full body massages to it. And I remember vividly like being on top, massaging, and then just like letting the music move my hands for me and then just reflecting on life, the purpose of butterflies, why bread rises at a certain temperature. It just like took me to this other place where I just felt so deeply contemplative, but also deeply grateful just to be alive and to have fingers. Every time we lose control, if the sky was black and white, if the ground was black and yellow. That's not the lyrics again. Number 1 is Janet Jackson, Anything. It is my jam because when I first discovered masturbation, not when I first discovered it, but when I became intentional at masturbating, this is the song that I played all of the time. And I used to have Vaseline, had a cocoa butter, and that cream really jived well with my self-pleasure techniques. Like it never made me feel uncomfortable or itchy down there. So like that was like my go-to. So the song was my go-to, and then the Vaseline cocoa butter. Those two things together just bring me back to a place of like exploration and fun and taking off years of shame and doubt and insecurity on my sexuality and embracing it for myself. So like this to me, this song is what started it all. I owed so much, so many orgasms, so many great thought starters. I owe my career probably to this song and the inspiration that it gave me to love and trust my body. So shout out to you, Janet. You really helped a 14-year-old girl find herself through your music in ways that you probably never anticipated. And I hope it doesn't creep you out because it's really beautiful when you think about it. My name's Shan Boodram, and that was my sex playlist.